What is the problem with Europe? That's right, it doesn't have enough aids, apart from France of course. So today, we will be fixing that in Crusader Kings 3. If you are unfamiliar with Crusader Kings 3, it is essentially a medieval version of the board game Risk, on steroids, where we have created a devilishly handsome king who rules over this small piece of land in Norway, which I have called aids. Our job is to spread aids as far out as possible and ultimately consume Europe. We can do this by beating our neighbors into submission, blessing the region with our superior genetics, then brutally battling our brothers and uncles in an effort to become the emperor of the great AIDS empire. And now I have the honor of introducing you to ground zero of this infamous AIDS lineage. Count Doc Cock of the chiefdom of AIDS! Doc Cock is clearly a handsome fella, so our first order of business is to find him an equally handsome wife that can help us rule over our lands. Naturally, I immediately started surveying the local MILFs in my area, but if we really want to spread AIDS, it pays to play a more tactical game at marriage. Specifically, we can marry a lady from a powerful nation nearby, allowing us to piggyback off their military power early in the game. It also helps when the woman you're marrying is actually the love of your life. You'll be joined by with my daughter Saga. Saga Cock. To top things off, the first army of aides are positively beaming in anticipation for their very first invasion of our neighbours, where they have absolutely no trouble taking out their army, and similar to a certain autoimmune disease, slowly destroyed their key infrastructure bit by bit while they are completely unable to defend themselves. Unsettled by the fate that awaits him, our new neighbour attempted to make peace by offering us his woman. Of course, I accepted this offer, then immediately gave him the full force of my aides army as gratitude, because why just have his woman when I can also have his land? Better yet, I can even impregnate Svetlana with Doc Cock's child while we pillage his land. Then, when the war drags on into the winter, he has to watch his woman give birth to my twin baby girls. Now these two may be my firstborn children, but they are female, and I don't know if you lot know much about 9th century Norse culture, but they were not too keen on the idea of boss bitch energy.
We have found the witch, may we burn her!
So I've decided to give my daughters names that signify their value to me. Droopy and Stinky. I would like to clarify that I am not being sexist. I am simply culturally enriching myself. Utterly humiliated and cuckolded, our enemy has no choice but to concede. And our channel general, Coco, couldn't be happier. This is Coco. 16 years young. With Coco watching over a very specific corner of the room, Doc Cock charged through Norway, leaving masses of casualties in his wake. If you're having trouble picturing the devastation that is unfolding, imagine you are extremely hungover and you have just consumed a diabolical volume of Taco Bell. All I will say is our enemies feel a bit like your toilet bowl. At this point, I decided that we needed to temporarily change the name of our land to Cock. The only reason I did this was to give Doc and his wife Saga's new nicknames a better ring to it. It's Jarl Doc the Mad of Cock, and High Chiefess Saga the Truth Speaker of Cock. Speaking of the Cock family, I've finally figured out the perfect use for my infant daughter Stinky. I'll be exchanging her as a hostage to some Swedish fella I just met the other day. I'm sure that'll be great character building for her, and it's come at a perfect time, as it makes room for my firstborn son and heir to the throne, enjoyer of Cock. Truly a shining light on the magnificent Cock lineage. Why don't all my children have a gambling problem? He just came out of the womb! And these youngins aren't the only ones with an affinity for chance. I have captured Sigurd, her skin daughter, Evrogaland. It's also a gambler. I think it's time we made a strong statement to the youth, but I guess it's too late because my newborn son has just gone and killed my wife. That's hardly ideal, but I'm sure there are plenty more fish in the sea. Oh my god, why am I just getting offered 4-year-olds? What about Cinder? Cinder of Cock. Oh, yeah, you got me there. That's our new wife. With one baddie secured, Doc Cock can now turn his attention to another baddie he secured in his dungeon earlier, as I've recently discovered that we can torture people to discover secrets, which is fantastic because Doc Cock loves tea. These rats might seem shy. I say as I strap the bucket to your exposed chest, but once it gets warm in there, they'll do anything to escape. Luckily for them, their teeth are very sharp. It had to be done, says Doc Cock. Oh, I wonder how that's gonna go. Huh. I guess you didn't know anything. Well, moving on. While all that nonsense has been happening, we have slowly but surely been repossessing the Norwegian land that is rightfully ours. And Cock is growing! Cock is huge! Look at that, just the tip of Cock is looking really nice. It's a really... Oh no. Okay. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing quite what I'm seeing here, but It's definitely a grower and not a shower. Things are really starting to come together nicely for Cock, and especially our son Enjoyer's jawline. But it was only inevitable that someone would come along and rain on our parade, because unfortunately, Stinky has arrived back in AIDS. Getting a whiff of my daughter Stinky Cock on a return from captivity, our neighbour King Crusader of Denmark has become absolutely enraged, causing him to declare war against us. And while I can completely understand his motives, I can't allow him to touch my Stinky Cock. The way I see this situation, Stinky is kind of like the poo that's been brewing in your colon for the last hour. One of those ones where you have to close TikTok and turn your phone away so you don't have to feel the shameful eye contact of the innocent soul on the other end of the screen. But in the process, you learn to give all of your focus and effort to the task at hand, allowing for that blissful feeling of unrefined relief once it passes. So anyway, that's kind of how I feel about my daughter. King Sigurd similarly feels like he's been humiliated enough by Cock as he has conceded, allowing us to officially form the Kingdom of Norway. Or should I say, the former Kingdom of Norway, because as of today, we shall be known as the Great Kingdom of AIDS. And it is time that Europe knew our true power, starting with this tiny, insignificant island above Scotland, which we will use as a launchpad to invade Britain. What the f***? They're gonna win. Okay, I may have underestimated these guys. That's alright, we can just send more bodies at them. What is up with these f***ing troops, dude? Who are these people? They're an absolute nuisance, that's who they are. But after 3 invasion forces and the loss of half of my military age population, we've finally taken the island. And just in time for my wife to be murdered. Wait, hang on, what? It's fine, we don't even need her. We just need a doctor, because now Conk has the Red Plague. Now I know that might sound pretty AIDS, however my personal physician reckons he knows how to fix this ailment. Oh, it's even worse now! At this moment, my daughter Dusty Conk reveals that she was the one who killed my wife Cinder. And honestly, I don't even know what's more concerning. The fact that she killed her own mother, or that Dusty Conk looks strikingly similar to Will Poulter. So I just told her, don't do that again, because it was low-key kinda AIDS. Speaking of, we've finally arrived home after months of conquest. Oh, sake! I personally can't stand for Cock's legacy to be tainted like that, so I've loaded up a save from before we sent the youth of tomorrow into a Scottish haggis grinder, and tried a new tactic. This time, instead of invading the British Isles, we will be heading south and invading Europe through Denmark. This works because King Sigurd is a pussy, and I thoroughly enjoy bullying him with the superior power of Cock. One slight problem, we can only go to war with Denmark once every 5 years, so while we wait to slap the long rod of Cock in King Sigurd's face once again, I thought it would be good fun to head up north and capture some more land from our neighbours. However, we did encounter somewhat of a hiccup when my heir to the throne and Joy of Cock died in combat. As a result, Cock immediately succumbed to a mental breakdown. Well, it was either his kid dying or he's mourning the loss of his hairline. Either way, Cock is in desperate need of cheering up. So on top of becoming an alcoholic, I decided to arrange a marriage for my daughter Stinky. Stinky is going to marry Bran, and Bran has herpes. This caused Stinky Cock to immediately die. What a shame. At least we can go pound Denmark again. Yes, what a battle! This is a massive one. This is a decisive battle, actually. And we've shit on them. And we've shit on them, and we've won the war. Thank you very much. Give me your land. Give me your bitches. Our conk is growing, and there is nobody who can stop us. Except for maybe this guy, King Bijan of the neighboring Sapmi Kingdom. He is trying to subjugate AIDS and claim it all for himself. But unlike his spine, I won't fold that easily. So long as the second army doesn't also attack and double the threat to our kingdom for absolutely no reason. Oh, you. Oh, I'm having a mental breakdown. I'm having a mental breakdown, mate. You're having a mental breakdown. Get out of here. Fetch a prisoner. Let's torture him. Who gives a shit? Now we go back up to our shit, we reclaim our lands, and we tell these guys to get the f*** out of the Kingdom of AIDS. While the war was heating up, so too were Cock's loins when he noticed this lass eye-f***ing him from across the table. And being a loyal husband to a wife and lover to 3 concubines, I obviously gave her the full power of this Cock dynasty, which was the perfect boost of confidence to send those third-party twits to the Shadow Realm and march our forces straight into the Sapmi homelands. When news arrived that the lady I had just smashed was in fact King Sigurd's wife and Queen of Denmark, whom is also pregnant with my child. Get shit on, Sigurd. Unfortunately, this meant that Queen Homfredr or some shit, I don't know how to say that, was imprisoned and my wife Cinder discovered our affair. I might be in a bit of trouble here, lads. Chiefess Cinder, my devout wife, is now held against her will. Oh, that solves that problem, honestly. Now we can focus back on the subjugation war that we are definitely winning. But just to make sure, I'm gonna take some desperate measures. Oh, oh, we're gonna win! We're gonna win! That clutch dub has completely swung the tides of the war into our favor, and we are inches away from forcing Sapmi to concede. They're launching another counterattack, but all I need to do is finish the siege before they can siege one of mine, and we should be able to enforce a peace and win. Fuck! I've got cancer. It's too late. I'm dying. Caution, mate. I'm a eunuch now. I don't have a penis. Obviously, I had Svetlana put to death for ruining my edging streak. But there's no point in living in the past. We still have a war to win. Doc Cock is almost certainly going to die any moment now. And my next in line is in prison. Defeat! Oh my god, it's because I turned into the king who is imprisoned and they automatically won the war. Wow, isn't that wonderful? The best thing about it is that we were literally 13 days away from winning the war. Now Donk's corpse no longer has a penis and we no longer have AIDS. I will vow revenge right now. We will get AIDS to Europe no matter the cost. No matter how long it takes. Europe will get my AIDS! For now, we must return to Cock, and by my calculations, attempt number 3 will go absolutely perfectly, as long as my kids stop screwing things up for me, of course, especially Stinky. But first, I should probably start learning their names. In order of birth, we have Droopy, Stinky, Enjoyer, Basher, Crispy, Boner, and Poopy. Poopy has pissed me off the least, so I will educate him. For the rest, it's too late. It's also extremely crucial that I forbid my children from being in the army, especially when King Crusader comes charging in. But you see, Crusader, like the idiot he is, died while his heir was in my prison. Although it seems the new king of Denmark, King Eystein, might be a pretty smart fella, because he has just offered to marry my daughter Droopycock. He has clearly taken a horrible, no good, disgustingly putrid bullet to save his ass and get out of my prison. However, because I cannot invade Denmark for another 5 years, my neighbours Sweden and Jylland? Who cares? Will immediately subjugate the much weaker Denmark. So I agreed to his marriage proposal and entered an alliance with King Eystein as his father-in-law. Good luck, my son. Droopy is a raging bitch. Now that we must help Denmark defend themselves, I think it would be a wise idea to send Stinky to Sweden on yet another hostage exchange, which should prevent King Erika from attacking us while we go south and exterminate Jylland. It's a perfect plan, really. The only way this could possibly go wrong is if King Erika has absolutely no regard for that kid's life and declares war on Denmark anyway. Wait a second. I will not be afraid to just absolutely rip that shit. I gave you Stinky Cock. I don't give a shit right now, dude. But I don't know. There's something about the way this kid is screaming incoherently at me that I find rather charming. So the boy will live for now, and I will let Erika make the first move. May your daughter Stinky find more peace in Valhalla. Oh, he's killed Stinky Cock. Guess I should have seen that one coming, and I definitely should have seen his army coming. No. Oh, we might win. We might win this. Holy shit. Oh my god, go! Go! Holy shit! What a dub! Outnumbered by 1,000 and we win! Naturally, such an emphatic victory caused Donk to get a little cocky and accidentally send his heir Enjoyer to his death once again. But I will not let his death be in vain as we continue to chase the Swedish army out of Denmark. Oh! No! No! I misjudged! I misjudged! Oh! Fight back! Fight back! Fight back! Go! 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 Fight back, boys! Fight back! Come on! No! Oh! Shit! Oh no! And Crispy just died! But just as all was about to be lost, one singular army of 900 Danish troops sprinted across the country and arrived at quite literally the last second. Oh my god! What a f***ing play! LeBron James with the block! At this point, King Erika and King Eystein decided to call it a draw and end the war. Now that the war's over and there are no consequences for 5 years, you wouldn't happen to remember this child, would you? No. I don't remember who that was either. Bitch. Oh, I killed the wrong child. Well, at least we don't have to worry about looking after any more children, because I have recently discovered that my wife Cinder has herpes. But don't worry guys, she told me it's chill. However, it was in fact not chill, as she has quite literally just died. On the bright side, Doc Cock is free, and he can finally do some cool single dude shit. Like, I don't know, maybe subjugate Sweden. Gank him! Gank him! Gank him! Get that bitch, boys. He thinks he can fight back. He cannot fight back. Reinforcements have arrived. Yes! We've subjugated Sweden. AIDS! Doc Cock has just made AIDS the single biggest threat to Europe since deodorant, and he has spotted his ticket into its heart when he noticed the Kingdom of East Francia has only 800 men to defend themselves from our 11,000 AIDS veterans. East Francia have no choice but to watch in horror as AIDS consumes every part of them like they are Freddie Mercury, not once fielding any resistance to the great house of Cock. This war was going so well in fact that I even had time to throw a feast to celebrate our heroic triumph in Europe. To Doc Cock, may his reign last 1,000 years. I ask you all to please stand in a moment of silence as we reflect on the legacy of the great King Cock, the man of AIDS.
Todo iluminado por el sol. Una ventana de ilusión. Niños jugando y las flores brotando, y en ese instante parece todo volver al antes, todo iluminado por el sol. Una ventana de ilusión.
Thank you. Please be seated. The kingdom of AIDS has been passed down to our second-born son, King Basher of Cock. Besides inheriting Cock's dominant chin and superior genetics, King Basher has also inherited Donk's conquest of East Francia, which could probably be more accurately described as the bumming of East Francia, given how easy it is to give them AIDS. That's right, AIDS is firmly into Europe. However, I quickly learned that it is fairly simple to take land, but extremely AIDS to try and keep that land. You see, Central Europe is occupied by the Catholics, and the Catholics lack vision. They see a handsome hunk of a man spreading AIDS to their lands, and they fear that they will lose all of their women, causing them to become desperate to expel us. But what is one man going to do against the entire might of AIDS? Oh shit. Normally I would beat off these rebels so hard and so fast that they would call me King Lightning McQueen, but unfortunately we have a war against those greedy land goblins Russia that isn't going particularly well. So I decided to grant the houses of East Francia independence, which will allow me to claim back my land piece by piece without the power of Catholic friendship to stop me. Those idiots! I don't think that's me, lads. I don't think that's me. Honestly, I think they're talking about someone else. At which point, Basher Cock said that definitely ain't me, and died, leaving the keys to the kingdom with his son, King Vigfus Cock, in your mouth. King Vigfus now finds himself in a peculiar position. The majority of his land in Europe has split off into the Kingdom of Germany under the rule of our half-brother, King Vic Royale. With Vic Royale as our ally, defending Germany should be pretty chill. All we have to do is fight off every Catholic in existence. But I guess school got out early, because the crusade for Germany has been abandoned before any real damage could be dealt, meaning that King Vigfus could get back to his true passions of getting his tits out, getting his shit rocked by Russia, and contracting consumption. To clarify, consumption is a deadly form of tuberculosis, and not what your mother does to me in the Denny's parking lot. Seeing as though his time is almost up, we simply told the King of Sami to Vigfus Cock in his ass, then immediately died. At least he went out with a bang. However, it is his son King Guggler of Cock who must do the banging in honor of his father, but more importantly, bang his unruly wife Queen Katarzyna into order, who seems to have a disdain for clothing. Although we couldn't convince her to put on a shirt, we did manage to convince her to wear the snazzy cape. So I'll count my losses and turn my attention back to the battlefield, where we have forced AIDS upon the population of Sami and claimed the rest of the Scandinavian peninsula. Scandinavia is not our only target. We're trying to spread AIDS to the rest of Europe, and that is occupied in large by our generational op, Russia. So King Guggler had a more cunning plan. We will marry off our child to the heir of Poland, thus creating an alliance with a kingdom within the Empire of Russia. In doing this, we can amass Poland's influence in the region and build up their military power until they are strong enough to start a civil war and destabilize the Russian Empire. Meanwhile, my wife Katarzyna has her tits out again, and while everyone's eyes were shooting out of their head like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, I quickly salvaged Germany from the rule of my uncle King Vic Royale. You may think it's harsh to declare war on my family member, however, Vic Royale is converted to Catholicism, and honestly, this is hardly surprising. Back when I was growing up, I had a suspicion he may have been Catholic, when he would whisper in my ear that if I kept being naughty, God would force him to punish me. And as he softly caressed my forearm, he would lean in even further and say, "I wonder why they call you Guggler." So I think it's fair to say King Vic Royale deserves AIDS. Although his son Basher II, Vic Royale's son, hasn't taken too kindly to me usurping his throne, and has thus challenged me to a shirtless duel, like father, like son. Take this! I win the fight! I won it! King Guggler of AIDS wins! He is your king! Ah, the first attempt as well! Clearly jealous of King Guggler's devilishly sexy physique, Tsar Dan of Russia has launched an inquisition to claim the Kingdom of Germany. Unfortunately for him, AIDS has been spreading rampantly throughout Europe, expanding all the way to Iceland in the west. AIDS, 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 AIDS! Which means I have an unholy amount of troops that have been begging to give Russia a little bit of AIDS. So it's time to put an end to this invasion and my frame rate right now. It is absolutely messing up my computer, lads. Get him! Get him, boys! Get him! Yes! Oh my god, we're actually gonna beat them. We're gonna beat Russia. We can beat them. We can beat them. He drank himself to death. It seems alcoholism runs strong in the Cock family, but I'm sure our new King Fat Cock is more than ready to take over the vast kingdom of AIDS. And great. This is really good. AIDS has been fractured into 4 separate kingdoms and distributed amongst my family members. Now the burden lies on King Fat Cock to show his true girth and tonnage as a ruler by re-establishing AIDS in his lands. In the process of reclaiming the kingdom, I noticed the Russian Empire had also broken apart thanks largely to our ally Poland. That should make reconquering Germany much easier. That is of course assuming my ally Poland doesn't join the war in defense of Germany and absolutely massacre half of my army. Wow, thank you Poland. Your bloodline is now under imminent threat of AIDS, but Poland will have to get in line, because it's Germany that gets AIDS first. At this point, it makes perfect sense for the Queen of Poland to send me a letter condemning me for being a bad ally. Oh my bad Poland, how can I forget that really helpful moment you killed 3,000 soldiers of AIDS in the spirit of friendship. Their time will come lads. For now, King Fat Cock only cares about one thing. Till death do us part. My wife has died. Don't give a shit. Kill him. Kill all the peasants. Kill them all. We have 500 gold. Pause before Fat Cock dies. We must create the Empire of Scandinavia. Give me that. Give me that. Yes. I'm an emperor. Emperor Fat Cock. Yes. The AIDS Empire is here, gentlemen. Let's go. Like I've aged 5 years since the stream started. Have a break. I can't have a break. I gotta spread AIDS. I gotta spread AIDS, man. Who else is gonna spread AIDS if I don't? Well, it looks like it's going to have to be the new Emperor of AIDS, High King Doc Cock Jr., who is already taken after his namesake by earning himself the nickname of Doc Jr. the Handsome Cock. So handsome, the Catholics couldn't contain themselves. Oh, they only have 5,000 men? Oh, nah, dude, that's chill. That's really chill, lads. I thought we were gonna be shit. Oh no, that's so weird. The game just crashed and I didn't save. Unfortunate that, but this time round, I can do things slightly different. Firstly, I would like to reclaim Finland from my uncle King Smellybottom. Now you might think Smellybottom earned his name by unloading unholy odors upon the realm. However, it's actually a bit more literal than that, and I would strongly suggest wearing 2 pairs of underwear around him. So you could say, I'm doing his kingdom a favor by giving them AIDS. And once Finland was reincorporated, Doc Jr. started to spread AIDS south to Estonia, then onwards into Lithuania. Europe was being contaminated and there was no one who could stand in Doc Jr.'s way, especially now that we have banned those woke elections from within our empire. Oh, I don't even have to rig the elections anymore, lads. I can just flat out ban elections. That's f***ing awesome. Why don't more people do this in real life? Now that the Empire of AIDS has been consolidated under its one true leader, High King Doc Jr. Fatson of AIDS, descendant of King Doc the Mad of Cock, we can wage our holy AIDS vengeance on Europe. So why don't we go ahead and invade Poland? How does that sound? Probably not great, considering historical, situations where similar things may have occurred, but that is completely separate and distinct from what I'm trying to do right now. Poland could have prevented this decimation had they only submitted to AIDS earlier. Now all they can do is watch in horror as Europe falls piece by piece to its devastating force, and it wasn't long before AIDS had spread all throughout Central Europe, from Scandinavia in the north all the way to the Italian Alps in the south. We've officially given Europe AIDS, and it only consumed 2 entire months of my life, and nothing bad ever happened after this moment that forced me to end the video here.
Todo iluminado por el sol, una ventana